Welcome to the second video about the Focke Wulf 190 in 1:48 scale from Edward. This will be all about the kit and the cockpit, which will be finished in this video. Please subscribe and enjoy. As announced in the first video, I'll be featuring the build of a Focke Wulf 190 in 1:48 scale from Edward with Kagero decals, and this is the beautiful kit. It goes together very well. It has rivet lines which give some extra detail on the finished model. I don't like doing them myself. With the single blade nipper from a company which I can spell, you can cut out the plastic parts from the sprue very easy and clean. After cutting the part out with the nipper, I use a hobby blade to scrape off the excess. Then I use the handy flexi file to finish the part. The medium grit is my most used file. Everything is glued together using Tamiya extra thin cement, the regular one or the fast drying, depends on the parts I want to attach. To drill some holes, I've got the cheap drill bits from AliExpress and they do the job. In the first few steps I try to assemble as much as possible, so that I can prime with the airbrush all in one go. I used the Edward masks for the Canopy with some masking fluid from a Polish brand. As for the primer, I love the Mr. Surfacer Primer 1500 in black. I thinned it down with Tamiya lacquer thinner, the one with the yellow cap. I don't know the exact ratio, but about 50-50. It should be like milk. The nice mixing cups are from AliExpress too. To spray it, I use my regular Harder and Steenbeck airbrush with a 0.3 needle. As already mentioned, I try to prime as many parts in one go as possible. For the base coat in RLM 66 I use Mr. Hobby and thin it down with its own leveling thinner. Again, I mix the paint and the thinner not with an exact ratio, but at the minimum it should be like milk to get a good coverage as a base coat. Then, with a really thinned down black, I spray some shadows over the recessed parts. It's easier if you have a pretty thin paint to build up the shadows in several layers until you are happy. To lighten up the base coat, I mix the RLM 66 with a very light grey. The color should be again very thin, as you can see. The shadows and highlights are sprayed with a 0.2 or a 0.15 needle, with very low air pressure. To make some edges you can use a small piece of cardboard or some masking tape. If the cockpit gets too light, you can apply a filter with very thin down base color. But as it is a smaller scale, I think you have to exaggerate a little bit so that you can see the details. So, to give more accent to the details, I dry brush the cockpit with a very light grey acrylic color and a small brush. It creates also a worn look without chips. As a last step, I apply a wash from oil colors. A very nice color is the shadow brown from the Abteilung. Apply it in every recessed space, which creates a nice contrast. After letting it dry, I remove the excess with a cotton bud. As the PE parts are very flat in my opinion, I used the plastic parts from the cockpit from Edward. To replace the instrument panels, I found the instrument dial decals from Airscale on the internet, and I absolutely can recommend them. I failed with the detail painting of the instrument panel, but with the decals and some AK glass coat it was okay. And this is the finished cockpit. If you want to, leave a like or even a comment. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.